my dollars make it hurt. These my dollars make it hurt. These my dollars make it hurt.
And a very good evening, everybody. Welcome along. It's Monday night. It's 9 o'clock. It's a little bit after 9 o'clock. It's a minute past 9 by Bill Gates is telling me it's a minute past 9. So yeah, welcome along to this week's episode of Tea and Tops. As always, my name is Graham, and with me is Jason. How are we doing, Jason?
Doing well, doing well. Steve Jobs is telling me he's 901 here, so just we got both operating systems covered.
That's it. Bill Gates just told me it's now 2 minutes past. So
is that because that microchip from your second vaccination is telling you that as well? Too?
That is, yeah. My 5G reception's just off the chain right now. It's fantastic.
But yeah, things are good. Yeah, it's been a good weekend, and it's August now, so we're getting into the fun part of the year.
It's the dog days of summer now, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And now that we all have glorious tans from the lovely weather up here in Scotland,
you might. Yeah. I'm only slightly less see-through than I normally am. I've changed from like blue to almost being like pure driven snow white. So yeah, I guess that's about as tanned as I get. So I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I just turn into one big freckle when the sun comes out. So
I'll tell you what, for your birthday, we'll pitch in and get you a fake tan, and you can go.
Oh yeah, man, yeah. Like 3 minutes in the sunbeds, and I'll be like a lobster.
Exactly.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in this week. As always, we're live on Twitch at twitch.tv/teaandtopps. We're also live on Facebook on the Teaandtopps Facebook page, and we're live on our YouTube channel as well. And yeah, we are going to talk this week a little bit about the National Sports Card Convention that was held in Chicago just Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think it was, of last weekend. Yeah, and because of the National, there's not really too much other news. All the news has been coming out of the National. So yeah, no new releases or anything from Tots this week, so we don't really have that to talk about. We will touch a little bit on Project 70 just as we go through, because we've got a couple of Project 70 related bits of news in there, I guess. And yeah, it even covers NFTs. Now imagine talking about NFTs at a physical card show, but there you go. Tops were obviously excited about it. So I guess the first bit of news then is that already all the exhibitor booths and stuff for the 2022 show in Atlantic City, they're all sold out already, and there is a wait list. So there will be no teaandtopps stand at the 2022 National Sports Card Convention. I'm afraid we can confirm that now, which quite frankly is terrible news.
We were disappointed. They don't know what they're missing out. The plan is to show up in kilts. Maybe rent a bagpiper and have us, piped in, just to really draw attention to our booth. But we had to one up everyone in the showmanship, and that would have brought the noise.
It would have done. Yeah, we could have taken the place by storm, but no, unfortunately not. We were too slow on the uptake. So yeah, if nothing else, the show next year is going to be very well attended again. All the reports I've seen, all the articles I've read, everyone is claiming record attendances. Obviously, there was no show last year in 2020 thanks to coronavirus. So yeah, obviously a lot of people excited to be back in a large convention center with thousands of other people with no masks on, so good on them. But yeah, lots of good reports coming out there. Interestingly enough, I've seen a lot of chat about cards outside of the traditional 4 American sports being amongst the most popular. In fact, one dealer saying that the fastest cards that were moving on his table were Formula One cards.
Really? So, I don't see any value in those. I'm sorry.
It's absolutely taken off. So when lockdown hit, I guess, soccer cards were the first ones that saw a really big price hike. They were the one when NBA went crazy and NFL went crazy, and baseball sort of started to pick up a little bit with the prices early doors on lockdown last year. Everyone turned to soccer, and then the soccer cards went mental after that, and that's where we're seeing 600% increases year on year on some of the soccer products. Formula One seems to be the one that's picking that trend up this year. It's kind of helped with the fact that F1 is actually quite interesting this season. A lot of teams who weren't really in it are kind of in it a bit more. A few more drivers. It's a lot more competitive than it was. Lewis Hamilton isn't just dominating. Mercedes aren't just dominating like they have been the last couple of years. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen are getting a bit chippy and crashing into each other, and it's getting very melodramatic, and I think that's helping drive interest as well. Formula One also changed ownership 2 years ago, and it's now an American consortium called Liberty Media Group that own them, and they've been working real hard to push it in the American market. Obviously, the racing market in the US dominated by NASCAR and IndyCar and those kind of things. So they've really been working to build the F1 fan base in the States, and I think that that's contributing to it as well. But so yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. UFC cars are also taking off as well. But yeah, for it to be the most popular, I thought was quite an interesting statement.
Do you think it's because it's just you can buy them cheap and pump up the interest? It's kind of like the Gary V thing. Well, I'm going to buy them cheap, pump them up, and make 4 times the value on them when they're there. Because I mean, I saw Topps had a women's lacrosse set. I know you have women's volleyball cards that you sent.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Just,
can I put a frame of reference around that, because you're making me sound like a horrible pervert. So yeah, it's like the headline would read worse than that because it's college volleyball.
yeah, exactly.
That's even worse. As a 41-year-old man, that sounds terrible. Yeah, the set I have has Randy Johnson's daughter in it. So there's like that slight baseball connection there as well. But yeah, there's a new pro volleyball league starting up that she's fronting. I thought was quite an interesting card. So yeah, allow me to put a frame of reference around why
I wasn't completely throwing under the bus there.
Yeah.
But you know, it's one of these things that, you know, there's always like random sports coming up, and like I said, like I didn't think there was even a women's lacrosse league, let alone cards for it. So you know, it'd be one of those things where you go, okay, I can buy this now, take a punt on it, and they're there. I mean, like I said, I remember watching soccer blow up because nobody wanted it, and all of a sudden you can do it, and it was like, great, I can now like quadruple my money. It's the flip game, you know. It's like all the shoe resellers went, okay, what's the next item there? Because wrestling cards, I mean, where are you going to go next?
Well, yeah, that's kind of the next one. If you think about all the properties that haven't blown up yet, WWE is probably there or thereabouts. Like I said, it's filtered down from the traditional big 4 sports of baseball, hockey, NFL, and what am I missing? Baseball, hockey, NFL, and
NBA.
NBA,
That little ball thing there.
Yeah, welcome to old guys remembering stuff.
It was a draft last week. It was an important draft on Thursday last week.
Was there for the Seattle Kraken of the NBA?
No. I was a low blow there. Just right into the oh man!
You threw me under the bus with the volleyball cards, man. Come on.
But no, it was the NBA draft on Thursday, and I didn't even know myself. I was on holiday, so I wasn't really paying attention. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there'll be some big NBA releases coming up soon then.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah. Thanks for letting me know. My team hasn't existed for 15 years now. Almost over the pain of that, even though I still wear Sonic stuff every chance I get.
Yeah, don't worry, they'll be back in Portland soon enough.
Man, you're lucky you're 300 miles away.
Ah, jeez. Right, enough basketball-based japery. So yeah, I can't remember how we got on that subject. We've taken one of our legendary detours.
We're talking about non-traditional sports cards.
Yes, of course we were. Yeah, F1 being the fastest moving, from reported by some dealers at the National, which I found, which is kind of interesting. Also at the National, PSA were there. Now, of course, we know that PSA are currently closed, unless you want to pay an exorbitant amount of money to get your card graded. So they're not technically closed. They've just basically priced out the marketplace. So, you know, you don't go and grade all those Shed Long rookies that you're hanging on to.
I have got a lot. I can't wait till I see them next.
Yeah, so they were there. PSA were on site and they were accepting submissions. Now, the cheapest submission you could put in if you wanted your card graded by PSA is $250 per card. Which is madness. Now, I was watching a live stream of a breaker, and we'll come to the live stream story later. And I overheard a conversation in the background where presumably another dealer or card owner, card shop owner, or whatever, had submitted 55 cards to PSA. It stood in the queue for, I think, 4 hours or something. He said submitted 55 cards at $250 a card and didn't even get a discount. And I think that was the crux of his moan, was that he didn't get a discount. The fact he had 55 cards that he thought were worthy enough to pay $250 per card to get graded, like he's quite happy to gloss over that. But
so I just did the math on that real quick. That's just a shade under $14,000.
There you go.
Yep. So
money for old rope, right?
But I mean,
that's minimum. Now, depending on the value of the cards that he was submitting, it's $250, and it goes up from there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we don't know what he was submitting there, but I mean,
minimum 14 grand. Yeah.
Yeah, that bubble's gonna burst there, and I think we had a great conversation for the show. And I think this is something we'll explore in coming weeks when the kids are back at school, and we actually can do research without kids screaming every 10 minutes that they want something, or their iPad works, or somebody robbed them on Roblox or something like that. So.
Yeah, oh, that happens to your kids as well. I'm glad to hear it's not just my kids that get scammed on Roblox. Yeah, that seems to be. What kind of life choices are you making if you think, right, what am I going to do to entertain myself? I'm going to go around and scam kids out of stuff on Roblox.
I figure it's like 10-year-old boys. Let's be honest. Like no one else is doing it.
It's like grown fucking adults doing that. I guarantee it, because these things are worth a lot of money, or can be.
All right. Well,
Anyway, scamming on Roblox is that's conversation that's a different show.
Yes.
I'm gonna run out of knowledge on that real quick, even quicker than I would run out of knowledge of baseball cards. So yeah, interesting. So Beckett were there as well. I don't know if they were accepting submissions, but they were certainly there. I mean, of course they're going to have a presence there. CGC I saw were there as well. They did a Twitter takeover of the Nationals official Twitter channel. So they had like 3 or 4 hours of advertising trying to push their grading service, which I don't suppose was $250 a card. Though interestingly, they had closed themselves for submissions as well after initially hitting the market and being like, hey, come and grade with us, we're not going to close ourselves off and we're going to keep our prices. And then 3 months later put their prices up, and then they had to close themselves off. So, well played. Topps were there, quite unsurprisingly, and they had a massive stand. Of course they're going to have that. Quite interestingly enough, in one of the articles that I read, their director of marketing, whose name I now have, and we'll link to him and try and get him on the show, wanted to talk at great length in multiple articles actually, not about their physical offerings, but about NFTs. So anytime this guy was asked a question about, Topps, you're at the National, what you selling and stuff, they weren't talking about physical cards. This guy was pushing NFTs. And that, I think, tells a story in itself. I mean, first of all, it's quite interesting, and I guess in a way it's good to hear, because we've speculated at length, I think, pretty much every week, about whether or not they were going to return to the space, or when they were going to return to the space. But with all the sounds that are coming out of Topps just now, it looks like they are going to be back, but of course, still no idea when. But they obviously still see some kind of value in the marketplace. We've seen, I guess, in recent weeks, the crypto prices have started to kind of come back a little bit, which is hopefully going to inspire some confidence back in the NFT marketplace. But yeah, we kind of thought maybe the All-Star break would have been like the perfect time to do it. There would have been lots of exciting things that they could have capitalized on there, but that never materialized. We've seen physical Series 2 Topps has kind of been and gone, sort of, I think it's kind of maybe 6 weeks ago now since that launched. But yeah, I think it's pretty interesting that whenever a representative of the press was speaking to the head of marketing for Topps at the National Card Collectors Convention, he wanted to talk about NFTs. He didn't want to talk about physical cards.
I mean, let's be honest here. What are you really going to talk about? Hey, that card looked really good. I really liked that design. I mean, you really can't say a whole lot. Is Project 70 going to go? Are we going to have Project 2023 next year? What's the next thing? I mean, he probably doesn't have a whole lot of stuff to talk about. And again, it's an emerging market. They've obviously dropped the ball on it. Crypto crashed. And why wouldn't they push it? They get a 20% commission on every time it sells.
Well, it's true. I suppose it's going to be their cash cow, and like you say, it is a future market. But yeah, it's definitely good to hear them at least to have some kind of acknowledgement that they're still interested in it, because we've not heard anything really from their social media channels. Well, certainly for baseball.
I think
we've had Bazooka Joe, and we've had Street Fighter, and we've had a few other Topps properties, but not actually had baseball. I mean, I may be putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5, and perhaps they're just speaking in general NFT terms rather than baseball NFT terms.
But it's one of the same things. It's like, how much Bazooka Joe are you really buying? I
have no concept of the cultural significance of Bazooka Joe as the token American of the pair of us. what light can you shed on the life and times of Bazooka Joe?
it was just cheap gum. Like it's original flavored. It's hard, and you got a comic with it. And so, like, no, it's like it's there's nothing great about Bazooka. It was just gum with a comic in it. That was really about it. So I guess it's comic in NFT form. Like the gum's terrible. Like literally, you pay like five cents for it. Maybe it's probably like 10 now. Or with the inflation in the US, it's probably like $1 for a piece now. But it's nothing great. You know what? I'm heading down to the American candy store in Leith soon, and I'll see if we have any Bazooka.
Oh yeah, if not, we can always get our friend in Florida, JC, to ship some over.
Yes. So like the gum's terrible. Like I don't know, but it's all about the comics. So you really just kind of like, that was really about it. I remember buying, like, getting like 50 cents from my dad and going to the store and buying like 10 pieces of gum and then like jamming it in my mouth and reading the comics. Kind of hoping that if I added more gum to it, it might taste better and still get the same result.
Yeah. You're trying to blow colossal bubbles and stuff as well, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So, I can see Garbage Pail Kids, absolutely. It's a bit of nostalgia there. But even like Bazooka Joe is like my dad's age stuff. There's... I don't really see kind of 7-year-old guys going NFTs. Bazooka Joe.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah. What demographic are they pitching? I just assumed it was a kind of obviously more US orientated demographic for that product, certainly, because I don't think Bazooka Joe ever made it over here. I'm quite happy to be told that I'm wrong, but like I don't have any physical recollection of Bazooka chewing or bubblegum or chewing gum, whatever, or Bazooka Joe and whoever the hell he might be. So it feels that, but then, like I say, a lot of Topps other franchises are far more general. They've got, like I say, Garbage Pail Kids. That's a good example. They have Marvel, they have Disney, they have Star Wars, they have some NHL, I guess. I'm just going through all the apps that we.
Yeah, exactly. Which apps do I have?
Yeah, which apps do I have? That's what I'm trying to pull from my memory.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's just a bit Americana. I mean, that's you're really selling the Americana on that. And like I said, like my dad's not going to buy any NFTs of Bazooka Joe anytime soon. So.
You might get a surprise. You never know.
When this show ends, I'll ask, Dad, do you have an NFT? And it'll be the what the fuck's the NFT?
What the fuck's the NFT? Yeah, I think episode 7.
We did that show already.
Yeah, I think it was episode 7. Yeah, something like that. Jeez. Well, we'll see. I mean, hopefully, like I say, I think we're both hoping that we see baseball NFTs again. I certainly am. I enjoyed them. I thought they were kind of fun.
I think they were fun. I like the whole crafting aspect, and again, I think that's because I play so much bunt now. I like trading. Yeah, and I think that's one of those things that really kind of got me into the NFTs. So, I mean, it was one of those things where you were speculating. All right, which player are they going to do this? The crafting next one.
That's right. Yeah. And you don't have to have your stuff sitting. You don't have to have your NFTs sitting standstill for 3 days while FedEx pull their head out their arse to ship it as well.
Exactly. Our customs held it up for a week.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, never mind.
We've both been there.
Yeah, we've both been there. Yeah. Yeah. So another aspect of Topps' stand down, which seemed to go down quite well, was they had a take one, leave one wall. So basically, you could go along with any card, pick a card, any card, and you could leave it on Topps' wall. It was basically just, I think they had about a dozen sort of rack type shelves, and you just go and pop a card on it. And if you saw a card there that you liked, you could take one away. You can guess what happened. Various scumbags were pictured and recorded and posted on Twitter and wherever else, sort of just loitering. And anytime anybody left a slightly nice card or like a Mike Trout of any description or a Juan Soto of any description, said scumbag would just go and take it off the wall and not leave anything. So, this is why we can't have nice things, I guess.
I mean, I'm assuming these are like 2021 base cards. Is there any value into these things?
Who knows? I mean,
$1?
Yeah, I mean, a Mike Trout base card will sell for more than a Shed Long base card.
That's preposterous. There's no way a Mike Trout card will go for a Shed Long.
I mean, the one of the videos I saw, a guy left two Juan Sotos and was recording it as he did it, and he took literally 4 steps back, and some guy just stepped in and immediately took them, put them in his pocket, and walked away. It's like that kind of thing. It's like, Right. Okay.
I mean, that's nothing unusual. Like, it's terrible, and people are always like that. I mean, I remember, how many times you see a card show that someone's stolen something off someone else's desk.
Well, 2 years ago, 2 years ago was a really bad one. It was like a big flipping chase and stuff from somebody who
Yeah,
like grabbed a bunch of stuff off a table and just pegged it out the place.
yeah. So I
I
mean, there's
remember
this
reading
all.
that.
And so at least like it's free cards. Uh, I guess it's one of those things where it's like I just want everyone to be happy and not have to worry about this stuff
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
But
it's like the whole why can't we all just get along thing. But
because there was someone saying that I was reading in the Topps Project 2020 group. They're like, well, I have a full set of Project 2020. Should I bring it down? And the guy goes, nope. You should. It said you should absolutely not do that. You should go and say I have a full set. It's in my hotel room or in the trunk of my car, but don't say where because someone might just know it's in your hotel room and
yeah,
then
exactly.
literally rob you out of your hotel room.
Yeah. Like the value of everything has gone up so much that you would have to take reasonable precautions to protect yourself. I saw a poll. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was on Twitter or probably wasn't Twitter because I don't go on Twitter too much. But I saw a poll before it. Somebody had asked a question about, oh, I'm going to the National this year. This is my first one. Should I take cash or will most vendors take card? And all the comments and all the replies were like cash, 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 cash. Cash is king. You want to do deals, cash, 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 cash. And then one of the first pictures that I saw was, I think it was Golden Auctions.
Oh
The
god,
guy
yeah, it
who
was
runs
like
Golden Auctions who dropped 155k in cash.
yeah.
I shared that. I'm going to have to go and find the picture because I don't feel like
Yeah, you shared it to us. I've already seen that, and it was ridiculous. I mean, I can't imagine walking around with that much money.
Yeah, just stacks.
Because I get it. Like dealers have to pay a percentage of the sale there, which on a $150,000 sale, it's a big chunk of change. And surely the companies must limit that. But yeah, I mean, are you walking around with Tiny from Friday to protect your stuff?
I mean,
Hey man,
yeah.
that's my bike.
I mean, my butt cheeks start clenching if I'm rocking about with like anything more than like £100 on me because I'm paranoid it's going to fall out my pocket or somebody like that. That'll be the one time that the 0.01% chance I get pickpocketed happens or something like that. Never mind strolling around one of these shows where there's a lot of high value stuff and you're walking around with 6 figures in your skyrocket. That's crazy. I can't find the picture now. That's really disappointing.
Yeah, no, I remember you showing that and going, here's the cash there, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, yeah, I know what you mean. That's a lot of money to be kind of carrying cash around, and it's be one of those things that someone's going to figure it out. Just going to go, yep, I'm going to follow you back to your hotel room and just take your cash.
Yeah, some of these dudes, man, I imagine they need to be pretty careful. If you're rolling up to the show like a couple of days in advance, if you're one of the big dick swingers out there, and you've got like a big booth, and you're bringing like BBCE, so Baseball Card Exchange, where I was again sharing pictures of some of the swag that they had taken along, like sealed heritage boxes that were like 16k and stuff like that, and a box of 2011 update, so the Mike Trout rookie box that's worth like $8,000 now, and people are like carrying around cases of them, like. Are you guys arriving with like armed guards or something? It's like, what's happening?
I think they were the one that had like the 1970 or 1971.
I didn't want to pull the year. I'm going to go and try and find that one real quick.
Yeah, I think it was the 1971 one because it was that's the one with the black borders.
Yeah,
and that was it. It was an amazing condition there. So yeah, I mean, I think that was where the cash was because it was 150,000 for that thing or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go and try and find it now. So we shared. Obviously, I shared this in the baseball card group now.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I get you have to worry about that. People will rob you, and someone's gonna get smart. But then the problem is, say if you rob someone with a graded card, it's gonna pop up, and you're gonna know about it.
Well, that's the thing. It's shifting it. It's going to be the problem after that. And I think, like I said, there was quite a big theft 2 years ago, and that's how they eventually caught the guy because the stuff's so hot that you can't really.
You have to crack it and then submit it again.
Yeah. I'm desperate trying to find this. Never mind. I'll keep scrolling. I'll find it. We can always circle back to it.
That's right. Old guys remembering stuff. Here we go.
Yeah, I didn't want to pick the year out of thin air because I'll just Glenn will moan at me if I get it wrong. But I will find it. I'll find it where we're going. But yeah,
You should know this. It's your Action Bronson set. Come on now.
it is. Oh, it's right. Yeah, I think it is 71 then.
Yeah.
I will find it. Anywho, so talking of high end, it's nice that we've kind of apexed into that. So one of the big draws, one of the things that gets the crowds to your booth is if you're breaking high end stuff. Probably the most synonymous modern box at the moment, I guess, is 2011 Topps Update, which contains the Mike Trout rookie card, of which we've seen one. We've seen a 2011 Mike Trout rookie from that set on the show when we had Glenn on. Glenn was flashing his one. So yeah, I know of at least two breakers that did a break that included 2011 update that they streamed live from the National. There was probably more. So Mojo Breaks, which is one that's quite well known in the UK because they ship internationally, they opened a box of 2011 update, and they pulled a black Mike Trout, which I believe is numbered out of 60, I think. So yeah, that's kind of a monster.
So wait, there's variations on that Trout. I just assumed it was just the basically the base card.
Just the base. No, there's I don't know them all. I could really quickly go on Cardboard Connection. The ones to look out for are black, which is quite low numbered, and obviously if you get that in, we've just discussed it's difficult to keep black cards in like PSA 10 quality because they get scratched real easy. So if that in any way grades out, then that's a payday for somebody. The one that people really want is like the Cognac, which is like a crazy refractor.
Right.
So yeah, if you get a Cognac Trout, they look. I mean, it looks pretty awesome to be fair. But that's one of the hotter ones from that set as well. And you also get a gold border. So yeah, Mojo Breaks ripped one, and they pulled the black. Real Breaks, a company out of Minnesota, they did 2011 update as well, and a mixer with Bowman Football for I can't remember the year for the Tom Brady rookie, and also Topps Bazooka Basketball for LeBron rookies, which was actually a really cool set. Anywho, from the 2011 update, they pulled a base Mike Trout, and they also pulled a gold Anthony Rizzo rookie card.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so his rookie's in that set as well, which I guess, so it's not just Mike Trout, and Goldschmidt has a rookie in that set as well. So it's not just Mike Trout that's making that box $8,000, although he's probably making up 7 of that $8,000, but you also have Goldschmidt rookies in there and Rizzo rookies as well. And I think we talked a little bit over the weekend on text about why would you ever buy an $8,000 box, and I still think that $8,000 for a box of 2011 update, if you can find one, still feels like value.
Yeah, just even hang on to it.
Oh yeah, to keep it sealed, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that still feels like value to me, but then what do I know? I have a very sketchy history of investing in like loose stuff and sealed stuff. So,
but it's funny you mentioned the Mike Trout thing because I didn't realize that would explain why DJ Ski paid $1 million for his 1/1 platinum card.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that. I was like, oh, this must be some variation, but I never actually put 1/1 together there because we'll talk about that on Project 70. But yes, obviously he dropped $1 million on that card, which was very well timed.
Yeah, I forgot he had that.
Well, yeah, he must have bought it probably a few months ago, then hang on to it, and then when he released his card, oh yeah, by the way, I put my card it is bought on the card.
That is a flex,
yes.
Isn't it? That is a flex. That is flexing on flexing. That's amazing. Not only am I designing my own cards for Topps, but I'm also going to put in like the $1 million card that I bought. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
When we have Ski's budget for cars and shoes, we'll be okay, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I wouldn't mind his budget for anything, if I'm perfectly honest. But
I think his food budget. I'll be fine on that.
I don't know, man. He's quite wee and skinny, isn't he? I don't think he is too much.
Yeah, but it's all that high end stuff. It's like probably like vegan and all that crap there.
Yeah, you mean he's not shopping at Aldi?
No, I don't think he needs to go to Aldi.
Why would how have we got onto the shopping habits of DJ Ski? I don't know, but I guess we can use this to apex nicely into Project 70 then, and have Jason's Project 70 update, which is kind of paying a bit of a price this week, isn't it?
Yeah, Topps has decided not to update the print runs after the glorious weekend they had the weekend before, where we had 5 of the 7 lowest selling cards be there. So they updated from the cards that came out last Monday, and that's it. So the intern obviously got lost somewhere in the National. He's probably tied up, or he's sweeping to pay his bills or something like that, and they've not updated the cards. So not a whole lot to report. I got a feeling there'll be some really low run cards on Sunday. Topps was smart and released the DJ Ski, obviously Mike Trout card there, and they released Alex Pardis, Fernando Tatis Predator card, which was awesome.
That was really cool, yeah.
And they released that on a Thursday, so I think they'll have the numbers up for those 2 cards, but I think everyone's buying a 5 or 10 pack from that, and you'll see a few of those just not do it. But yeah, probably should have taken a break for the National. But they did flex and say, hey, look, we're going to drop our 2 popular artists on the same day, on the first day of the National there. So, yeah, can't complain too much about that. Print runs keep getting lower and lower. Like it's just getting more ridiculous on there. But there were some cool cards that came out. Was the Ski Trout. We had the Tatis. But I think my favorite one of the week was the CES Pete Alonso card, where he's holding back like a pack of polar bears.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, that's a nice choice. I'm glad you picked that one. I probably like that one too.
So yeah, there was quite a few Project 2020 70 artists were at obviously at the National there. Ben Baller was there, Jacob Rochester was there, Chuck Stiles was there, Ski, Blake, and Lauren Taylor were all there, and it looked like
no. You have to give Lauren her full title.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Thank you.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Lauren Taylor. Yeah, she
friend
was
of the show. Yes.
She was hanging out with Blake at the Beckett booth, I think.
Yeah, they were signing autographs there. So really interesting fact. So I didn't realize when Ben Baller was signing his cards last year, he wasn't signing the card. He was signing the case.
Oh, okay.
I thought, well, that's pretty lame. I mean, you pretty much can't smudge that thing because I've never tried to write on the case there, but I imagine it doesn't work very well.
Well, I mean, Sharpie's all right on anything at the end of the day, but yeah, I would say it's going to be significantly easier to smudge on the outside of a case than it is on the inside of a case on a card.
Yeah, I thought that was probably the most unusual thing I'd heard, because why wouldn't you open it up, sign it, and then close it back up again?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
The only thing it does is preserves the top seal on the card. So obviously, I've bought artist signed cards. I bought a Lauren Taylor. I bought the Lauren Taylor. I can't remember which one. That's shocking. I bought one of her cards.
It was the Lou Gehrig.
I think it was the Gehrig, yeah. And she'd obviously taken off the Topps Project 70 sticker that they put over the magnetic bit on the One Touch, and replaced it with a Lauren Taylor's illustration one. So the only thing it would do is preserve that. It would preserve that seal, because you wouldn't have to take that off, take the card out to sign it, to put it back in and put the sticker back on. That would be the only reason I can think of to do that. But it's a bit like, I guess, signing the outside of the case, it's a bit like, well, this is the thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's interesting that you did that, though.
Yeah, I would have thought, because it was a 1-on-1 card. This was, I think it was it was his collab with Blake, so card 100 Mike Trout, and that was pretty much the pinnacle of when the cards were going crazy there. So someone would have paid probably like $1,000 for it, and I would have been pretty upset if I paid $1,000 for a card and had it signed on the case and not the damn card.
Not the case, yeah, it's true, yeah.
Because
it'd be really easy to take the card out and just put anything else in the case, would it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like myself, I just went and bought a bunch of black top loaders, or 130 point
One touch.
One touch. Oh God.
Or magnetic.
Yes, I've tongue tied myself, and I'm done now. So I bought a bunch of those to display my Project 2020 Project 70 cards there. I think it's cool with the black border in it there. And so if I had bought this Ben Baller, then I would have been like, well, that was pointless. Now I have to put like the Ben Baller card in the new One Touch and then display the stupid One Touch with his autograph on it. So.
Yeah, you need to have two separate displays for it.
Yeah, exactly. So who knows? But that was just an interesting thing there. There were a few dealers that had cards there, and they were actually asking like ridiculous money for it. Like again, they were asking like $40 for the same card we were just talking about, the Mike Trout, Ben Baller, Blake Jameson card, which you can pretty much pick on eBay up for like $5.
That's wild. But then, you know, dealers have stuff priced at 40, and they're already actually start negotiations. 10?
Yeah, I can go to eBay and pick one up. But they said, you know, it's a growing market. I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea. I mean, I'm enjoying Project 70 much more than I am Project 2020 because you actually can just do whatever you want with them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's one of those things that people know about it. And I think the more you see it, the more you can get there. But I mean, with these low print runs, they're just going to go straight in people's homes. You're not going to see them floating about very often besides maybe anything from the top 20 from Project 2020. I mean,
yeah, it's true. Do you think maybe? Do you think? I mean, we're not going to know, but do you think Topps have done it so we don't continue to see the plummeting print runs, or is that just being too? Is that my cynical brain once again?
I think you do it and you don't tell anyone the print runs. Wait till it's done, and then you buy what you want, and then you're not chasing anything. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, yeah, you should buy what you want, not what social media tell you to buy. But yeah, we all know that doesn't happen.
No, exactly. So, you know, how interesting is it to go and go, okay, fine, I'm not going to buy this and wait till the print run. I mean, they can't do it. I mean, this thing's not even halfway done. I think we're at card 400 now, and we still have 650 to go.
It's so mad. We have to like keep reminding ourselves of that every week. That we've not even reached the halfway point.
Absolutely. I mean, you're looking. Yeah, it's so far to go. So, yeah, I think the best bet out is to go, you know what, we're not going to release print runs, and you just have to see what you get, and then you have a mad scramble at the end to go, okay, what cards are worth a lot now?
Or maybe they release them all at the end of the project or something.
Yeah, I think that would make things interesting. I think the artists wouldn't go for it because they need to pump their stuff up as much as they can. But, you know, it seems like with so many artists, most of them just don't care.
It's true. Yeah.
You know, if you're making a $5 a card, like how much money do you really need to make to kind of, you know, be happy with your return on it? I mean, if you're only getting 700 cards, you're not really making a whole lot.
I guess that number is going to vary depending on where you sit on. So in that regard, it'd be very difficult to compare Snoop Dogg's expected return to somebody like, you know, somebody to, I don't want to say a proper artist, but you know what I mean if I said that.
An artist, yes.
An artist versus one of the pop culture people who are doing it, I suppose, is the fairest way of putting it.
Yeah, we'll say we'll go Lauren Taylor versus Don C.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a pretty fair comparison, I think. Yeah. Lauren's obviously, you know, art is her living, as it were, whereas for, you know, like Ski and like you say Don C and Action Bronson and guys of that nature, it's not their main pipeline, if that's the right way of putting it. You know, they have other things, and this is just for want of a better expression, it's more like a side hustle for them, I guess. But
yeah, it's a kind of a fun project where I have to make 20 cards. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it doesn't matter if they sell 10 or they sell 10,000.
Which actually brings up another point there, because there was a big kerfuffle about, did the All-Star cards count towards the Procter 20, which Topps said yes, and then
that's funny because no. The artist said no. Yeah.
Because
because I listened to Ski's playlist about his All-Star card, and he was like, oh yeah, and led it off with, this isn't part of it's not part of the set, it's something that only, I think mostly because not all of the artists were asked to do them. It was only certain artists that were asked to do them.
Yeah, so it's exactly. More like a companion. It was the starting lineup. It was 9 cards.
Yeah. So it's more like a companion set for the set rather than being part of the main set. Christ, that sounds like something like the Matrix.
Exactly, but yeah, so but I think it all kicked off by Alex Pardee saying it was part of the set, and then everyone went, "Oh my gosh!" Like I didn't buy the All-Star cards because I already have your Ronald Acuña. I don't need an All-Star card, Ronald Acuña, and Tescaro Hernandez. I really don't need that one either.
Yeah, but I don't think that's right. They are additional to the set. It's not.
They are additional. It's been confirmed by the guy who runs Project 70 and said no, they are not, because again, a lot of people are freaking out because again, you picked pretty much the most popular artist to do a set, and if you weren't buying the set because you didn't really care for it, then you're screwed. So
yeah,
I mean, let's be honest. Like, it's a gold frame poster that we're chasing. I think a lot of people are gonna be disappointed.
Yeah,
when
I've
it's
screwed
done.
it. Yeah, I've screwed it because I missed one. I missed one of Bronson's, so now I'm just like, psh, fine, eBay for me. I don't have to stress about checking every Topps email to see if he's released one on this day or whatever. You know, it's just like, I've missed a couple of Bronsons, right? I'll go get them off eBay because I'm not going to get the poster now. I'll probably end up buying the poster. Who knows?
You're gonna spend more on the poster than on the cards.
Yeah, probably, unless it's stupid money, in which case, like, nope.
No,
Yeah, I'm still annoyed at myself that I missed it, but whatever, it is what it is. There's much worse things going on in the world.
yes, exactly. So I think it'll be interesting to see if it's worth it or not. Like the cards are basically going for what they sold for. So
Well, yeah, I paid $20. I paid $20 on eBay for one, and I would have paid $20 on Topps for one. So somebody, the guy who I bought off, has probably bought them at the cheapest quantity discount. So he's probably made $2 or $3 off me. Oh, that's fine, fair enough. You're providing me with a service. I'm quite happy with that.
yeah.
Yeah. So I went back and I have found the post from Baseball Card Exchange. So for those who aren't familiar with Baseball Card Exchange, this would actually make a really good junk episode. We could speak about these guys who wrap vintage boxes. So Baseball Card Exchange and other companies of the same ilk inspect boxes, either vintage boxes or junk wax era boxes, or even modern stuff as well. But mostly stuff that wasn't originally factory sealed, and they'll inspect it and make sure it's genuine, and they'll authenticate it, and then they'll wrap it in their branded shrink wrap, and they'll verify it as an original box, either from a sealed case, or if it's not from a sealed case that they've witnessed, then they'll inspect all the packs inside and say, yeah, we guarantee that these packs haven't been rifled through or searched or whatever. It's an authentic box filled with authentic packs. So yeah, 1971, you're correct, Jason. 1971 Topps Baseball was on sale. Baseball Card Exchange wrapped. I don't know if it was from a sealed case actually, but it doesn't say it is, so I'm going to say it's not. So
Imagine this
just a wax
case of 1971 Topps kicking them out.
You would be amazed at what people seem to turn up in their, like when their elderly relatives die and they go into the loft or they go into the basement and they just find all this stuff. Anywho, 1971 Topps Baseball, unopened, first series wax box, 110,000 American groats, which was kind of crazy. 1971 Topps Baseball, unopened 6th series wax box, again BBCE authenticated, 160,000 American groats. 1971 Topps Baseball, unopened 4th series wax box, 110,000 groats. And 5th series, 135,000.
I'm curious. We need to have Glenn on the show to find the series on there. If it's actual like
Glenn would know.
another. Yeah, I know exactly. Do they just add 100 cards? Go, okay, here's series 2 now.
Yeah,
right.
Well, so they still can't do that with Heritage. So they have normal Heritage that releases early in the year, and then later in the year you get the Heritage high number set, and it's like it's a little bit, I guess, like Topps Update, but in the Heritage style.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same with the junk year. I mean, it was like you would get Upper Deck, and then you'd have well, they did both now. They went Series 1, which was 1 through 300, and then you'd have Series 2, which is 301 to 600.
Yeah, well, same with Topps Flagship now. It's almost exactly the same. I think it's 1 to 350 and then 351 to 700. But yes, a very similar idea. But yeah, to have like 6 series in 1 year seems a little bit insane.
Yeah, we'll ask Glenn about that. He can explain that one.
In the same post from Baseball Card Exchange, they also had 2011 Topps Update sealed, so like still with the Topps factory wrap on, so obviously it doesn't need to be authenticated. For a hobby box, $9,900 was their ticket price. For a jumbo hobby box, $11,000. And if you wanted a blaster box, so a blaster box for the uninitiated, are the ones that you can buy normally from like Walmart and Target and places like that for like maybe $25 tops, including your tax and stuff. $2,850, and that only had 10 packs in it. So there you go. 10 packs of 8 cards for $2,850.
So what you're saying is we need to buy a box and then have a break, and everyone buys 1 pack at like 800 pounds.
I would love to do a 2011 Topps Update break. One day I would love to do one. which is, like I say, why I still think that says 99, but why I still think the $8,000 to $10,000 range for a box of update is probably still a good investment at that price. Yeah, I'd love to break one. I think that would be the peak break for me. Would be to do 2011 update.
We're going to need some white gloves for that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would be sweating opening those cards. Like you open 1,000 boxes of cards and never like drop one and never ding one and stuff like that. And the one time it happens is when you're opening the 10 grand box and people lose their minds over it.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to just set that one down and go, all right, I'm going to walk away from this one until I can regain my nerves.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think I would probably wet myself if I did actually do it and like hit a Mike Trout card. That'd be kind of wild.
Yeah, we just need to win the lottery so we can go crazy one day.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Imagine going to the National with lottery money in your pocket. Oh, Jesus Christ. That would...
My budget's just $1 million, maybe $1.5 million.
What's your budget? The entire convention is my budget.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, like I said, I shared a photo with you that was really cool. Is that somebody was actually selling a game-worn and autographed Joe DiMaggio hat.
Yeah, $60K, right?
Yeah, that's almost a bargain.
Oh, but I mean, I looked at it and was like, well, I can't afford to like remortgage my house, but yeah, that didn't feel like a lot of money for something that is, an iconic piece of memorabilia. Whether everyone can hate the Yankees, I don't care, but the one of the most storied players from one of the most storied franchises of baseball history. To get an authentic game worn and signed. I mean, it doesn't get too much better, does it?
I mean, but I think you can hate the Yankees, but I think you can only hate the modern Yankees. I mean, you really can't go and hate the Yankees from back then. There was literally 8 teams.
Yeah, you're like hating 20% in the league.
Yeah, exactly. You really can't do a whole lot about that. Modern Yankees, absolutely, no problem. But you can't go.
Listen,
that Babe Ruth guy, I hate that guy.
Yeah, that guy's an asshole.
I really hate Roger Maris. God, he home runs all over the place.
Yeah, that Lou Gehrig, what a dick.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're not going there. Like I said, fair game to Aaron Judge and the rest of the guys there. But the old guys, it's history. Like I said, there's no reason.
I think for most of the season, most Yankees fans hated the Yankees. But obviously things are maybe starting to take a bit of a turn. I guess we can shoehorn it in for the last sort of 10-15 minutes of the show. But obviously one of the big things that happened in actual Major League Baseball was the trade deadline's now passed. And that obviously has ramifications in the card collecting space as well. People will get upset if their favorite player has been traded, and they'll start, especially if they're a fan of that team and they collect that player, then you might find they'll start offloading those players. So yeah, if you're a Chicago Cubs collector, you're basically selling your cards right now. As a Yankees fan, I'm not complaining because we got Rizzo, and he's been kind of he's had an instant impact, I think is the best way of putting it.
So are you buying? Are you buying Anthony Rizzo cards because he's a Yankee and potentially could be a Yankee after this year?
I already have bought an Anthony Rizzo card as a Yankee. Because I think even if it's a rental, I still think it's cool. Like we obviously had that trip to Chicago, and I think we all sort of carry a bit of a torch for Chicago as our National League team or our second team outside of our
third team. It's the Cubs. Everyone loves the Cubs.
No one hates the Cubs. Everyone loves the Cardinals
fans.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and White Sox fans maybe. We have that soft spot for the Cubs. So in a way, it's a shame to see them breaking apart the last vestiges of that team that won it all in 2016. At the same time, I'm not disappointed that we got Rizzo at all. I think it's a pretty great move. And yeah, they did a Topps Now card over the weekend, so I bought some of those. I'll be gifting one of them, but I'm going to keep it as a surprise. But yeah, I'm all in it. I think it's a great deal. Do I think he's going to hang around? I don't know. I don't know if he'll re-sign past this year, but I think it's a great rental.
It's interesting. I'm very curious to see. Am I a Joey Gallo fan now? It's like, are you buying his card there? Because it was who was it? Somebody had bought a bunch of Nick Slack cards because he was a former Yankee now and current, right? Is is that a good idea? Is that a gamble? Like Rizzo is a great player, but he's not a Hall of Famer. Like he's gonna have a soft spot for anyone in Chicago. But
he falls in that Hall of Very Good again, doesn't he?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, unless he suddenly hits a ton of home runs or suddenly hits for average and gets over 3,000 hits, which I don't see happening. It's a feel good story. So
yeah.
I mean,
his cards definitely have value in the collector space. Like I say, his rookie cards in 2011 update the same as the Mike Trout one, and you're not disappointed if you pull a Rizzo rookie card. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, you go back and look at. I mean, like I literally had just bought a San Diego Padres Anthony Rizzo jersey because I have not seen one. He literally played like 3 months for the Padres. Said he was crap, and then we traded him. So,
I'm gonna get a jersey. I'm gonna get a Rizzo jersey. Like I say, even if he hangs around for just for the rest of the season, I don't care. I think it's cool that he played with us for a little amount of time. Part of me would like to see him. Part of me thinks he'll go back to the Cubs. Perhaps on like a hometown deal. I mean, he's not old, but he's younger than you and I, so he's not old.
I think he's like 31.
Yeah, he's like 30, 31, yeah, which I mean that's prime territory for the Yankees, giving him a 10-year, $250 million deal.
An Albert Pujols style deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's be honest. The Yankees have a little bit of a history of that. I don't know. I'd like to see him hang around. There was obviously heaps of talk that he was going to go to Boston before he actually signed with us at the deadline. So Boston's maybe another landing spot for him after this year, but either state, I'd like to. I was saying when I was doing breaks over the weekend and speaking about it in chat and stuff like that. I was saying then that the smart money was he would go back to the Cubs after this season. I don't know if I'm quite so. If I've still got that same courage in my convictions now, if I'm honest.
I think it's one of those things. It doesn't happen often. We're set to get traded away and they come back. Our Joel Chapman's like the most recent.
Well, yeah, you can draw a real close parallel because obviously the Yankees sent Chapman to the Cubs in 2016, and then he came back at the end of the year and obviously helped them win the World Series, and then came back to the Yankees.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of factors go into it. I mean, I'm assuming he has kids, and so they don't want to uproot the kids. But then, a lot of times athletes have kids that they stay in Florida year round and go from there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I mean, everyone kind of wondered why Pujols signed with the Dodgers. It meant he didn't have to move. Like
he didn't have to move.
Instead of going north, he had to go south for his health. That was the only difference for him. So
him and the family loved California, and why wouldn't you? So yeah.
Yeah. So I can see that's a bigger pool than you think it is, where people say I like to stay home. So I mean I hate to see the Cubs get their roster like it is, but I would assume they didn't have deals with any of those guys there. And they'll be the level of losers for a long time again. So
yeah, I mean they're getting some pretty solid guys back. That's the thing. They're obviously they're obviously rebuilding. They didn't make any secret of the fact they were going to start rebuilding again. When the main core of that team started to kind of drift away. I mean the main core of the team was Bryant, Baez, and Rizzo, right? And now all three of them have gone in this trade window.
Sorry, it just made me giggle because there was someone talking about how many core players we need like that, and somebody had said, "Oh, it was the core 5 guys in the Yankees," and I was like, "They were literally called the core 4." He was like, "Yeah, it's Posada, it's Mo, it's Jeter, and who am I missing there? Pettit, yeah, and the guy tried to say Bernie was part of the core 4 or the core 5, and I was like, no, man, like literally, there's a book called the core 4 with those 4 guys.
Man, you put me on the spot there trying to get the 4th one. I'm pretty impressed with myself right now that I pulled the 4th one out of thin air.
I should have known that, but yeah, it was just interesting because Bernie obviously came a couple of years earlier with that there. But yeah, it was just funny. I was like, so you don't actually know your own team? That they called the core 5.
Yeah,
like,
doesn't know his own team. Definitely a Yankees fan.
No. I just go with a champion chart. So I like the Cowboys, the Lakers.
Cowboys haven't won anything.
They got titles, man. Title town. That's all I care about.
Oh, Jesus. Basketball news. Right. Russell Westbrook got traded.
I saw that. Yeah, it was a big trade to the Lakers. And how terrible it is. It was literally like the worst person you could add to LeBron and Anthony Davis. And there you go. Again, former Sonic. He was the last person drafted by the Sonics before he became the Thunder.
That's a lovely fact. I like that.
I do that. Yeah, no, because that was. I'm never going to talk off the Sonics. Anyway, so Sonics had a brilliant team all together there. Clay Bennett, you can go suck my dick. You're moving my team away. You are a dick, my friend, sir. And I also have stopped drinking Starbucks because of Howard Schultz, and you sold the team there. So the problem was.
I don't believe that last statement for 1 minute. I've seen you with many a pumpkin spice latte, you basic
I
bitch.
can't wait till September. No, the problem was Howard Schultz was the owner, and there was like 27 other owners, partial owners to the team.
Oh, I didn't know it.
Yeah,
It would make sense though, because Seattle.
Yeah, so when the market crashed, obviously people were short on cash, and they just took the money from Clay Bennett, who promised he would do everything he would to keep the team in Seattle, and then move it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's nice. Imagine an owner lying to the fan base. Unheard of, right?
I know. And the irony of it now, he is on like the relocation committee for the NBA. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Man, that is rubbing salt in a wound, isn't it?
Yeah. So I hope he dies in a horrible car accident.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's move on for basketball. Jason's not better at all. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the Kraken's draft? How's your NHL knowledge coming along?
I was just said, like when you were mentioning F1 names, I said you could have said those guys are Kraken players. I would be like, yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I do know who Lewis Hamilton is there, but like on top of that, I'm like, I have no idea.
Oh, I mean, if nothing else, this helps us segue nicely into bunt because we haven't talked about bunt yet.
Oh right, yeah. So I'm looking forward to the Kraken. Apparently, I've told that we did well in our expansion draft. And yeah, I think, and everyone says, I think it's this week when all the hockey trades start happening, and like whatnot.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So apparently we're not a playoff team, but you never know. So.
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, you could throw Kraken players at me, and I wouldn't
exactly. I was like,
pick them out of thin air. The only reason I know they drafted is because as well as doing Topps bunt, you do it as well. We do the NHL one Top skate as well. So yeah, that's where I get all my Kraken news from. Is the fact that we had the expansion draft and there was a celebratory set on skate.
I completely forgot about buying that there. I'll have to go trade my way to get all the Kraken players. So
oh man, that's funny.
So I played a little bit of skate. Again, I don't recognize anyone's names there, so I don't get really excited about anything yet.
Yeah, we'll need to get some of our Canadian friends on to talk hockey with us 1 week. We'll do a hockey special. I'm
sure, yeah. And they'll know what it is there. So I haven't actually logged into the week. I did like the Inception set, but I kind of like Inception.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a fun one there. So yeah, skate, Star Wars, which I still don't quite understand yet either.
No, I'm just collecting base cards in Star Wars until I figure it out or until we do something with it. It just feels like, yeah, here's like 4,000 base cards to go and collect. So, all right, brilliant. Thanks for that.
Yeah, so I still haven't anything great, so it doesn't really motivate me to do that. But yes, obviously, Topps bunt is what we want to talk about. Indeed. There. We had a tribute event, which kicked off at 8:30 on a Friday night, which wasn't exactly the best time to have an event kick off for people. It
wasn't really an event, though, was it? They did a special release, and you just had to go and buy packs. But it was a little bit of, not a con, that's not the right way to put it. It's not a con, because that would be very unfair. It was very heavily weighted to paying to play to get the good stuff out of that set.
Yeah, absolutely. The iconic cards for just the free players was 1 out of 500, where the pay to play was 1 out of 25.
Yeah, I mean that's like a factor of 200. That's crazy.
Yeah. So wasn't anything great. I like tribute, so I like it so much. I play in 4 accounts.
Well, see, that's the thing. So I was excited about it as well when you shared the details of it, because obviously the event that they've done with tribute has kind of been a lot of fun. So they've done two different events with tribute. You know, where you have to grind out certain tasks or whatever, and then you get it forces you to buy a lot of tribute packs, which is fine because it's a good looking set. And then you get the event exclusive like purples and greens and stuff as well, which is really cool. And it was fun kind of grinding out that event and collecting some of these cards. But this was just purely, here they go, we've released a special set, have at it. So I think I dropped about 350,000 coins on it and got like
100 packs. It would have been 100 packs.
And I got, I think, 2 super rares, but one of those super rares I pulled out of a super pack, which is one of the packs you pay for, because I'd earned like 400 free diamonds just over time, and one pack was 300 diamonds. Or
Yeah,
250, I think. Whatever, doesn't
yeah. I
matter.
mean, it's not nothing great.
You
Like,
get to events thinking it was another event, and it was like, no, just go and buy the stuff. I'm like, oh, okay.
well, it was an event. The fact that there was 100 iconics of each card, and what we didn't
Right.
realize, it was once every card had reached their 100 iconic, that was the end of the event. And
Yeah.
that was kind of it. So I kind of like, actually, just before we got on, they had another release of the top 70 rare cards that have the motion on it,
Oh, okay.
and they were selling those, and they kind of pop up. I don't even know when they pop up, and then you can kind of get them there, and then they disappear again.
Yeah. They'll all be
And then,
gone by
but
the time we finish the show. But
yeah, maybe not. I mean, well, you can pay for them. The paid ones are always kind of
paid
stick
ones are
around for a
always
couple
there.
of.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know,
but
check.
they said there was 7,000 packs, and so I was like, okay, great. There's a limited number of packs. I'll buy what I can there and try to get that. I've already hit the Mike Trout on that one, so I don't really feel the need to really buy any more. But I still kind of buy them. But yeah, I like their events. I think that keeps me interested in that. There, I had a really interesting conversation with the main bunt group on Facebook,
Mm.
and we were discussing card count and what value do you place on your cards? Is it the rarity or the card count? And most people say it's the card count is what they value more, which makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
But if you ever traded on bunt, you get all sorts of kind of offers for your stuff there.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I was happily traded away all my dupes for the purple tribute events, and people were like, "Oh yeah, I'll give you like 3 tier 3 cards for that." And I was like, "Well, yeah, okay, that's not going to work for my stuff here, buddy."
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to go, right. Okay, I know there's like 4,000 of my common or uncommon ones there, so let's kind of find something that works in that area there. But it's interesting how people value stuff. I mean, some people were giving me super rares for what I had, which was fantastic. I'm not going to say no to that, but it really comes down to card count. Really, I mean, what would you rather have, a legendary card count of something that has 50 or iconic that has 50? It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah,
the
that's a
rarity
good
there.
point.
So
Yeah. So the 70th anniversary set packs were 7,000 coins each, which is a scandalous price.
yeah,
They're sold out. The super packs at the minute, there's 13,046 left. And each of those are 70 diamonds, and you get one guaranteed rare 70th anniversary base card in there.
you
I
get
actually,
one rare card anyways.
yeah, I actually have 150 diamonds left, so I could get 2 of those packs.
So it's a complete waste of your diamonds. And to be honest,
I didn't
because
pay anything for them.
I know. I'm just saying. I mean, there might be something else that might actually be a little more what you might do, but you get a base card regardless if you bought paying 7,000 coins for it or there. There's no differential on that. So,
No, not at all. I think the odds are the same as well. What is this set now? Oh, it's platinum.
unless you have a chance to actually hit like a second rare card, you're guaranteed one. Maybe you can hit 2. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, feel free to go for it. And I know you guys give us lots of abuse about bunt. I like bunt. Like I said, my collection of cards hasn't doubled because of it. I was like, I don't have many space there, and it's kind of, we always say it kind of fills that void. It just scratches that itch. But I think we're gonna try to save up to, well, you're way ahead of me on the coins.
Yeah,
Save
I'm
up to
sitting at like
maybe
3 million at the moment.
But to go and open like a good 1,000 cards and get like 1 million points and open up a set we really like, because you're after Ginter.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if they bring Ginter too. I think they've done Ginter in years past, so I'm hoping that they will. I thought we'd have seen Gypsy Queen on this by now. Gypsy Queen is like a really nice looking set physically. I think it would look really great on. It would look really great digitally as well. I kind of thought we would have seen it by now. That doesn't mean to say that it's not going to come, but Gypsy Queen's been out for 3 weeks now. I kind of feel like if they were going to do it, they would have done it. But they're dropping all these exclusives again, like we said last week. I think a lot of these sets, a lot of these designs that only appear in Bunt, some of them would actually make really nice physical sets. Now, obviously, they can't take every design and make a physical set of it, and I mean, they probably do too many already as it is. But yeah, some of them look really cool.
Gypsy Queen, they've done that previously. I was just looking right there.
There you go. Well, we might see
And
it yet, I suppose, but
and Ginter comes out. Was it next week?
the 11th. So the physical comes out on the 11th of August.
Yeah,
So
because
we'll
it has my favorite hockey player. Speaking of that, there, Dave Hansen.
This is a nice way to finish actually with some Ginter news. Yeah.
So they're pulling out the various celebrities, I guess, for Ginter like that.
Yeah. So every year Ginter always has they mix in pop culture cards with baseball players, and they do strange insert sets. Like it was Chili Peppers a few years ago. Then last year it was farm themed. So you had like a rake card. I can't remember what the one that became like
tractor or something.
Yeah, it was like the tractor card or something.
This is the one that did the egg.
They did. Yeah, so they did the egg now, and then they did like paleontology cards a few years ago as well. And there was a megalodon card that was worth a fortune. So one of the most expensive cards that's come out of Ginter in recent years was one of the megalodon cards. So it's a real eclectic set, I think is the best way of putting it. But yeah, they include non-baseball players in a baseball card set, so they have like pop culture people as well, which leads on to what you were saying.
So obviously probably since I know so much of hockey because I've watched Slapshot 1,000 times, they have one of the Hanson brothers on there. So that's pretty cool. If you decide to do a break, I will buy into that break so I can, or at least put a bounty on the Hanson brother card.
Oh, that's not a bad idea actually. I quite like putting a bounty on breaks because like Ginter's not to everybody's taste, but if you give somebody an opportunity to win something, then it often encourages people to get involved. Yeah. Traditionally in the break format, the non-baseball cards would either just be given a spot by themselves, or they would just get randomed off to all the people who were included in the break. But maybe to do like a Hanson brothers bounty or something, that might be kind of fun.
I like that. Let's do that.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Excuse me. So yeah, and then I can get. Cause I really want to get a Charleston's Chiefs jersey.
Do you remember a long time ago we bought one for Nick?
Yep, absolutely.
Was it maybe for his 30th birthday or something?
Yeah, it was when we were all buying baseball jerseys for each other for our birthdays.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we got Paul an Oakland jersey when he went to Vancouver.
And showed up like 4 months later.
And came back 4 months later. I think he did it just to get an Oakland A's jersey out of him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, jeez, excellent. Well, that was a lovely way to finish with a little bit of Allen and Ginter news. So yeah, August the 11th, Allen and Ginter releases. It's the next kind of major release for Topps. Then after that, we get into shiny season. There's lots of shiny stuff coming out. That will be very interesting. But yeah, I think that's a pretty nice way to round out the show this week. We've managed to fill our hour again, which is great. We're still weighed down by kids and stuff for the next few weeks, so we might just have more news and update shows next week, unless we can pull a guest out of our backside in the next sort of 4 or 5 days. So I imagine it could just be Jason and I back next week. But yeah, we will be back next Monday, as usual, live at 9 p.m. I'm determined this week to get the podcast out on time. So the last couple of weeks I've been slightly latchy at getting the podcast out. So yeah, I'm going to say 9 p.m. from Wednesday. This show will be available as a podcast. You can get us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere else where you like to download podcasts from. You should find us on there. As always, Jason, thank you very much for being with us. Your closing thoughts?
Everyone stay safe out there. It's summer break. Enjoy it while you can. And I'm looking forward to, I guess, autumn happening, and we can really kind of bring some more guests on there. We have a few people lined up. We're just haven't been able to find dates on it. I promise they will be interesting interviews.
Yes, with our unique interview style.
Yeah, exactly, and more White Claw.
That's what we need. We really need to get them on board as a sponsor. I think we're going to have to reach out.
I think we need Brewdog because they're right up in Aberdeen. It's a Scottish show.
Oh, Brewdogs! Everyone doesn't like Brewdog at the moment. They're not very de rigueur. They're very much in the trending downwards, I think is the safest way to put it at the moment.
Yeah, but they're trying to get rid of all their hard seltzer, so I'm quite happy to take as much free hard seltzer as I can.
Yeah, regardless of how they may or may not have treated their employees past and present. But yeah, that's we'll save that.
Hanging out in the kitchen too much is what you're saying, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll save those stories for a beer-related podcast. or a seltzer related podcast.
A Salter, yes, that's a new one coming out. That's really what we're having the interviews on. We got about 8 different seltzer podcasts coming out soon. So
that's what we've been working on. We've been putting too much effort into Seltzer Weekly. Perfect. All right, excellent.
Everyone,
thanks a lot, Jason.
take care. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same place.
Yeah, stay safe, everybody. Take care.
These my daddies make it hurt. These my daddies make it hurt.